Ladies, there's a problem that many of you think that you can solve purely with love. And here's what some women actually think about when they considering the incredibly flawed, some of the incredibly flawed men in their lives. And I'm talking about men who are comfortable with being flawed and they see no need to change. That's a problem. And the problem is when you address the issue with them, he either gets angry or he gets mad. Or some might even become violent, at which point most of you will throw up your hands and conclude that it's not worth it. Let me just leave him alone and let him be whatever he is, as flawed as he is. Here's the problem, however. When you reach that point, you arrive at that conclusion, you're not going to say anything, you're not going to address it, you're just going to let him be as he is. Your relationship is stuck and going nowhere, and your happiness in particular, is going to suffer. Hi, ladies. I am Pastor Frank Legette, and I'm talking about how to heal an unhealthy man. Today is, and welcome to 90 Days to Find Your Soulmate. And today is day number 59. So a man who thinks he's okay just as he is, and you see the flaws, you see the problems, uh, family and friends around him sees the flaws and the issue, but he does not, and he refuses to change. That is a problem. So let me share with you how many women attempt to remedy that problem. Here's what many women say: he'll change if I love him enough. So I can love him out of those flaws. I can love him into a different man. I can love him into a better man. That's what many women say. But actually, ladies, no, you can't. You alone cannot change a flawed man. But I know someone who can. God can. God must do that. And there's no one who can do it like God can. You see, God has tools in his arsenals to change a man, the likes of which you know nothing about. God can humble a man and bring about the change or changes that needs to be made in that man. I know firsthand. When I married my late wife, Angela, I was a complete idiot during the first 7, 8, 9 years. I didn't realize it then, but I didn't even deserve her. I was a mess, and we were miserable. And one day we were coming back from Maine, and we were in a, we're driving 10-hour trip, and I was complaining. I was doing what I do. You don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do this. And she stuck her finger in my face, and she said, "You're the priest. If you lead, I will follow." And ladies, I can't tell you how that slapped me in my face. And I went home and I went into my closet. I fell on my knees and I began to pray. And I said, God, if I am to stay, if you want me to stay in this relationship, then you must teach me how to love her. And Christ sent mentors, plural, into my life. And those men modeled to me how to love my wife. And I fell in love with her so much so that in 2021, when we all came down from COVID, and she was the only one in my house, even though all of us in the house had COVID, but she was the only one who died. I was devastated, and I didn't know how I was going to live and survive without her. God did that for me, and God has to do it for you. So Continue to talk to him. Continue to raise those issues. However, don't put your health in jeopardy, right? Be wise about it. All right. Don't get all up in his face and push him to put his hands on you. Be smart about this process now. And when he says enough is enough, all right, back down. Save it for another day. But put him on the altar and keep him there. And let God go about the process of making the changes in him that needs to be made. Because no one can do it like he can. He did it for me. He can do it, and he will do it for you. Amen. Now, if you enjoy this content, please help me out. Please help me to grow the channel. Okay. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button so that every time I put up a post, you will be notified, and then you can watch it and be blessed. Amen. Amen. Now, I'm offering each and every one of you the opportunity to come join me every Thursday evening at 6 p.m. And I teach women a most important technique that's life-changing, and it changes their lives so much so they end up attracting the most incredible guy and getting married. That's my track record. Amen. And in addition to that, I'm also fortunate enough for many of these women to actually be the one to marry them to the man that they've drawn and fallen in love with. It can happen to them. If it happened to them, it can happen to you as well. So if you want to join us, all you have to do is go to my website, all right, and register. And I will send you the Zoom link, and you can join us next Thursday at 7 p.m. Until then, be blessed. I'll see you then. Bye-bye now.